Hello everyone, welcome to a live stream. Let me check on the volume, make sure that it's loud enough. So, welcome back. I see some of you guys joined, and the last stream that I did was a little bit over a week ago, and I was working on this game. Don't remember where I left off, so let's start by checking out. So welcome, who we have here. Welcome to the stream. So let's click play and see where we left last time. So right here I have the game, I guess started working on the menu. Okay, we get a menu. Seems like we get a level load. Let's see if we get the menu back. Okay, I guess we don't really have anything after we win the game. Need to fix that. Level 2. So this is a puzzle game that I started 3 months ago. I think a little bit more than 3 months ago. And I decided to do a live stream on it and finish it, making a complete game. Okay, so that's where the project is right now. I don't think I have a third level. That one's just an empty button. Just 2 levels, and I need to get the UI. Need to get the UI to show up after we complete the level and stuff like that. Alrighty. Menu, level 1, level 2. Let me see where the level logic is. Okay, so the level logic, I have it on the level, and the win text is the one that is disconnected. That's why I guess I have that win text error. By the way, if you guys have any questions, you can ask. I can try answering any CSharp or Bolt questions, I guess. If they're short enough to answer in this live stream, I can help you guys out. Welcome, Admaz. Good evening to you. It's good morning for me. So guess we live opposite sides of the world. Looks like I was debugging why I wasn't able to get the win text. Interesting. Unawake. If, well, if insert instance equals new. Then I want to send it to this. For some reason, it's not. Let me try this instead. I have an instance. Okay, let's try this. I need to unload that scene. Yeah, the chat is nobody's here. Chat is pretty empty. I guess it's too early. Okay, so what should I do? So currently I have the level logic connected on the level itself, and that's where all of the logic for loading the end scene and not the end scene, but the you win text and the menu originally was on. But I don't think I want to do that. I think I want to move it to. I think I want to move it to the loading. To level loading logic. And I don't remember where I put that. Interesting. Where is it? Is there a way I can find it? Okay. Hello, sir. Hello. Welcome to live stream. Andrew, you're a good teacher. Thank you. Thank you for that. It's nice to hear that you guys appreciate the work that I do. Watching it in class. Okay, I guess that's a challenge. No, the models that I'm using here is actually from Kenny Assets. I'm not sure if I have it in the description, but I can pull up the website actually. So it's kenny.nl assets, and it's one of the 3D assets that he has here. They are free to use. So the ones that I'm using here is the platformer kit and also the car kit. That's where the tractor's from. There, the yellow one right there. So that's the assets. Pretty good stuff. I mean, if you're prototyping or you're learning, really good assets to start with, so you don't have to I guess, create your own, because it does take a long time to create assets from scratch. So that's a good start, but then you can always switch to your own assets once you get something going. Just free. Which one do you think is better for Android? What are you asking? Which one is which do you think is better for Android? I'm not sure. What are you referring to? Oh, Buildbox or Unity? So as far as I know, Buildbox is having lots of problems with Android once you export it. The optimization is on their engine. Last time I used it was not really good for Android, so the older phones on Android didn't work as good as the iOS were. So I don't know. They said they're gonna fix it, but it looks like the changes are happening really slow in Buildbox. So probably Unity would be a better choice for Android. And again, the question between Buildbox and Unity, it's more of a question, are you planning to be a game developer for a long time, or it's just a hobby that you have? That's the biggest question, because yeah, the Buildbox, once you get to a professional level, then it's really hard to use that tool at the current state that it is in. They're promising a lot of improvements, but I can't say that it's good for professional work if with the current state that Buildbox is in. That's just my opinion, but then again, there are I guess developers that use Buildbox for their games, and they make pretty good games, but the ones that I've seen that have like a lot of features, they actually go in and do a lot of custom implementations and custom development on the Xcode side and the Android Studio side. So it's after you export from Buildbox, you go and actually do more work on it and hire someone to add some features that you were looking for. And a lot of them actually using Buildbox 2 instead of the Buildbox 3. So that's just what I know of. Still don't remember where I placed the level loader. I think it's on the menu. Oh, it is it's in the panel. So the level loader is right here. Level loader. So for the level loader, pretty simple logic. The only thing that I have here is just, yeah, I'm gonna actually move the level loader from the menu to something that I will have in every scene. I think I'll move it to the main camera. Let me make sure that the button, okay, I guess I messed up the connection now. Level loader and load level 1. Fix the other button as well. And the third one, I don't have anything for the third one. So the reason why I moved it there is that I can add some more logic here. And what I want to add here is also a menu connection to the menu icon, or not menu icon, but the menu game object and the win text inside here. What's other free sources you use for developing games? So other free sources. YouTube, I guess. A lot of information comes from YouTube, and researching how if I have, but that's more like information wise. Other assets. For games, I don't really use any other assets, I guess. For the other stuff, I actually go ahead and create my own stuff, but that has haven't done that lately. I think the last time I created my own assets was probably a year ago. So what I want here is the menu. I do want to get back into creating my own assets and get more into using build blocks, because that's pretty fun to do as well. But lately I was just been focusing on Bolt tutorials to continue with the no code start that I had of this channel, because when I started the channel I used Buildbox, which is no code. So then I transitioned into using Unity with Bolt, so that the channel still keeps I guess continues to be relevant to the users that I already had, to the subscribers. I don't know if I'm gonna still use WinText, but I'll just add it. WinText. And I think I'll convert this one to an I'll convert it to an instance, to a singleton parent, use a singleton parent as well. I don't know. Don't really want to abuse the singleton pattern, but it's just, it makes it easier. Did it? Wait. Instance. Oh, let's just copy it. Instance, and then on awake. Come on awake. Okay, this should be a static field. Static. Leave it like that. Okay, other free sources. I can't imagine a penguin more smarter than me. Well, I'm glad you feel like being a smart penguin. So make a C# tutorial. I am stuck at array. How can I learn C#? So what exactly? Let me see. Okay, a few days ago I was stuck at the C# operators, and now I'm stuck at arrays. So how can I learn C#? Can you make a C# for noobs video? What exactly do you want to do with an array? Maybe I can show you that real quick here. thanks for the complete answer. Buildbox has many bugs, although it has been improving now, but it's still slow on Android. Yeah, the devices that I have, that actually the Samsung devices that I have, it actually works, I guess, not too bad. But the older device that you have, and some of the newer devices still, like, they say it's the only problem with old devices, but it actually is a problem with new devices as well. So there's some I guess something that they don't really understand, or not understand, but I guess they can't really get to work on all the devices the same, which is, I don't know, it sounds pretty weird, but I guess it's more of a rendering issue that slows it down than the actual calculations and stuff like that. So that's just different libraries for rendering that are used. Okay, so with this, what I'm trying to do is I want to create a public static method that I can load the menu. Load menu. And for that, instance dot, need to get the menu and set active to true. So currently, what am I doing for transform parent game object? Okay, so this is not going to work because actually looking at the transform parent to turn it off. I'm a new programmer. I'm 12-year kid. Yep, I think that's a good age to start with learning programming. I mean, the earlier you start, the better you can get, and yeah, that's the time when you have a lot of time to learn new things. So that's pretty cool. And penguins are becoming more smarter than humans. Well, the penguins that are here are becoming that. I'm not sure about the penguins that are in Antarctica. Wait, is it Arctic? Okay, so inside here, what I'm gonna have to do is I'll go through the instance, although I have the access here, but I'll just go through the instance since that's what I'm doing. Can you make a grid block placement system tutorial in Bolt? What do you mean by a grid block placement system? Placing blocks during the gameplay? Is that what you're referring to, or like during the game design, placing the blocks in the game when you're designing the game? Okay, so during the gameplay, placing system locks, grid block placement system. You're looking for a 2D or a 3D placement? Because that's Okay, so load menu, 2D. Yeah, I can look into what I can do with that. Do I have any projects that yeah, I don't really have a project that I can. The closest thing is the tank, the one that I did for the tank multiplayer. Let's see, keep the multiplayer, 2D tank multiplayer. Looks like 2D player is already running. Oh, I guess I have multiple projects that are open right now. Okay, so there is the 2D multiplayer, and inside you want to place objects. So, what can I... Let me actually try making... Yeah, let's actually do that, since I said that you guys can ask the question, and this is the first question about making a tutorial. Let's do that. Let's make a 2D placement grid for using Bolt. So first, to get started, I'm gonna go and look at my 2D art, and what I'm looking for is trees. Yeah, let's use a tree. What do we have here? This is large and small. What's the size difference? Okay, that's not gonna work. Oh boy. I'm using a grid, a tile map here, and not that. Okay, I'm using a tile map here, and whenever you drag something in a tile map, it actually adds that to the tile palette. So not something that I'm looking for. So that's a large tree, and then okay, I have a small tree. So I'm gonna use the large tree since that's what I'm working with here. Okay, so first you need to decide what the size of the grid you're looking for. So let me reset everything to 0. So it looks like we have 1 unit apart is the size, so that's good. Then what I would do is create a prefab for the game object. So tree brown large, I guess that's fine. Create a prefab. I don't have a prefab folder. Okay, just place it here. Prefab for an object that I want to use. As in so much study and stress, so I'm becoming. Think so. Well, I think hello anyone that is joining. So okay, so we have a prefab. Now let's create another game object. For some reason I have position set not at 0, 0, so and we'll call it placement. I think that's spelled correctly. And let's add bolt. Well, flow machine. Flow machine, and I'll use an embedded. Okay, so here I'll add the prefab. I guess I'll call it tree since It's a tree prefab. Game object and pass connected there. So that's just creating a variable that I can, a variable or a game object that I can refer to when I'm going to be placing. And now it's all about going to the graph. So inside the graph, what we can do is on mouse click and mouse down and mouse. I'm going to use the on mouse input because that's the one that has more options. So on, I think I'm using the right mouse button right now. I mean the left one for actually no, I'm not using it for anything. Okay, so we can use that. Edit, so I can use the left one for placing the prefab. So what we're going to do is when you click, we're just going to instantiate. That's the beginning. And instantiate game object, rotation, origin. The game object, we're going to get, okay, I have to go to full screen. Object, get the tree here, connect it to the game object. The position is going to be, so here is where we're gonna have to get mouse position. Get mouse position. And then we have to convert it from screen. Wait, is it screen? World to screen, screen point. Screen to world point. So this one right there. Okay, this one is not. Okay, let's try it again. That's not the right option. Screen to world and position. Okay, there we go. Self, the camera. Actually, self is going to work because that logic. Wait, no, self is not going to work. So for the camera, I need to pass in get main. Get main actually, I don't know, the side note, the get main is actually pulling the camera by using game object find. So if you actually use it multiple times, that's not an efficient way of doing it. Probably creating a game object and using that way will be more efficient. But for now, let's just use it there. Let me check the relationship. Okay, I actually can pull it. I'm new. I'm never to learn bolt, and it can be a bit confusing in such a term that like 8 of this better. Is there a better what to tell them apart and choose the right one? So that the options, I guess you're talking about, hello, anyone that is joining, and welcome. So the options, I guess, well, what are you talking about is when you search for something, there's a whole bunch of options that you have to use. So for instance, camera and screen. What I was doing right now. So there's a whole bunch of different options. For instance, you look at what you have and what you want. So right here for screen, well, what I was looking for, screen to world, right? World position. So there's only two options that I have here, and one of them, well, I can't see what it's displaying, but one of them gets an input of position and I. So that second option, I don't really have that option because I think it's for a stereo, for a stereo camera. So when you have two cameras that are represented by one camera, so you select which eye you want to use, because you can only cast a ray from one of those cameras. And since I don't have that eye option, I'm using the position. So it's based on what inputs you want to give to get the outputs that you're looking for. And yes, I can't really see. So that's how I choose which ones. For instance, even the instantiate, right? I just pulled up the instantiate. So game object instantiate. And in here, actually, we have 5 options. So, and the options are based on which parameters, I guess, you want to set from the beginning. So the most simplest one is right here, game object instantiate original, and that's just gonna place it based on the prefab's saved location. So if when you create a prefab, the prefab actually, let me actually go. So when you create a prefab, I create this tree, you can go into the prefab and you have a stored position 0, 0, 0 and the rotation and scale. So if you use that option that I just showed, that instantiate game object option, original is going to use those values to instantiate it. Now, then you have the next option, which is original parent, which if you want to add this object to a parent, but still keep those positions that are in prefab, you use that. And then it's just the other options for setting the position and rotation if you actually want to move it, which is majority times when you instantiate something, you do want to change the position and rotation because you want to place it in a specific place. And then on top of that, you have a parent. So it's based on which options you want to set when you instantiate it. You can use this option, this one right here, instantiate original, and then after it's the simplest one, and then after you instantiate, you can actually change the position and change the rotation. So just changing what you want. But I guess it's shorter way to do it this way. You just do everything at once and you don't have extra nodes. So just because of that simplification, I guess it actually makes it more complicated because you have different options now. Is there a way we could get a tutorial on tic-tac-toe using only Bolt? So tic-tac-toe, yeah, that's actually one of the first games that I created when I was learning. Well, not using Bolt, but I think when either was Visual Basics or C#. I'm not sure. It was a while back, over 12 years ago. Okay, well, why not what? Sorry, I have a hard typing when I'm doing schoolwork. Okay, isn't it better for to publish Android games for Billbox above API 1 or API 16? Yeah, I'm not sure about the API levels for Billbox, which ones, because yeah, I'm not really sure. A few times ago I was watching C# tutorial and now I'm here. Does it happen with everyone? A few times ago I was watching C# tutorials and now I'm here. Does it happen with everyone? Cool. It's just some features may be helpful to my game, but I want to learn Bolt. Currently BB3. Yep. So okay, let's continue. So I'll put that the tic-tac-toe to actually make that. It should be pretty short. Currently I'm doing the Among Us series, and I knew that before that I guess that the long series are not really good on YouTube, but I just decided to finish it. So I'm finishing that. But something like creating tic-tac-toe games is actually pretty good for YouTube, because you can cover all of it in just one video, which is good for you guys, and then I don't have to post videos and spend all the effort creating series that no one actually, well, barely anyone actually follows along through. But I'm trying to split it in more like topics than like a step-by-step thing. I don't know. It's hard to do that, but okay. So let's go and continue. We caught up with the chat. Continue with the instantiating. Position. Okay, so I converted the camera, a mouse click from camera, from screen to world point. And one thing that I have to do is convert the, well, actually not convert, but set Z to 0. Because when you're making this conversion, what happens, it actually uses the camera position, which I think by default it's -10 or something like that, to set that. So what I need is connected between here, and I'll turn on the chainable option so that I get a vector3 output here. Because the reason why I do the chainable option is because I don't have this screen camera connected to the flow, so the variable is actually not stored here. If I connect it directly from this screen to world point, it's gonna give me the actually unchanged. So this, whatever this vector3 is gonna do, is not gonna affect it, because I'm gonna recalculate the new vector3, and it's gonna be with the Z set to 10. And so one of the options is actually connecting it through like this, and then creating the connection. That way you first set the Z to 0, and that will actually modify the vector3 here, and then you can use that value. But the other way is actually just like I did it. So you just enable the chainable option, and it gives you the final vector3 output here, which I mean, makes it cleaner connections. You don't have these crossing connections. Just something that I use. So for quaternion, you can use the quaternion, just quaternion literal, and set it to 0, 0. That does have a different effect than actually using the quaternion get identity. Although I use him, so quaternion, if you use this one, is going to actually use the prefab's rotation. So if you rotated the prefab, it's going to actually use the rotation of the prefab to set that. If you use the get identity, it's going to set rotation back to 0, 0, 0. So just, I guess, just a quick side note for anyone that is curious if there's actually a difference. There is a difference there. Okay, so now what should happen is when I click on the map, we should get a tree somehow. Okay, let me go back. So right there, we have a tree that is appearing. Well, it's not really appearing. And let me try it again. So if you look at the hierarchy, when I click on the map, there is a tree. Now let's see the position of it. So the position is actually at 0, 0. So we have something wrong going on with our position calculation. So well, let's check it out. So got that. Okay, let me detach the flow graph and see what the values are. Have to do a quick debugging to see exactly what's going on. Set Z and values. So I get 0, 0. And okay, so there is this problem that I get with a 2D camera. It's not a problem in 3D camera, but it's a problem in 2D camera. And as far as I remember, it's the fact that the get mouse position is actually returning the values that are not that have camera. That have X value, no, the Z value set to 0. And when it's, for some reason, when it's in 2D mode, it's actually causing an issue. So I don't remember if it's -10 or 10. What I do, okay, let's actually connect it through here so it'd be cleaner. Again, I have to do the chainable, pass it in here, and pass it in here. I think that's the solution to that. Let me exit. Okay. So there we go. So for some reason, if the Z is actually, let me try placing 1 if that actually works. So no, the 1 is actually causing a problem as well. So you actually have to pass in the Z of the camera. So main camera. Okay, inspector. Where is? So we need to check the position of the Z, which is -10 in our case. And we need to pass in that value here. I just used a -10 right there, but if we ever move the camera, it might actually cause an issue. I want to check if negative, so yeah, you can't use negative, it's supposed to be positive. So the way you can do it to make sure that it always works is get transform. Get position, get transform, get position. And then from here, we need to get the Z value. And also we need to, it gets a little bit messy when you do this. And also we need to get the opposite of it. So either multiply, guess we can multiply, or subtract. Scalar, multiply by -1 and pass it in. That's going to convert the -10 to 10, which is what we're looking for. That way, so with this setup, if you're actually using, if you're going to move the camera at any point, it's not going to actually break the code from happening. So there you go. That looks like it's working, but the objects are being placed randomly. Well, not randomly, but at the exact point of the mouse. So if you want to place the objects on the grid, what you want to do is actually limit where the object is placing. So basically the positioning. It's pretty simple to do. So you have to work with the with the position itself. So right here, we're just passing in the position straight through, but what we want to do is actually convert it to a, I guess, a grid spacing that we're looking for. And in our case, it's actually 1. Back to 3. And I'm just checking if there is a round option for a vector 3. Round. There is. So we can round a vector 3, always from 0, ceiling, floor. So you have options, different options that you can use for rounding, floor, ceiling. But I think, yeah, always from 0. So if it's 0.5, if it's higher than 0.5, then it's going to go up. I think that's the always from 0. So just a standard rounding. So if we do that, now it should sort of snap to the grid, because our grid is 1 unit. So no matter how we click it, it's actually still placing it 1 unit. But you can place multiple objects at one spot. So for that, you do need to check, create a check to check if there's other objects that are placed already and not placed yet. But that option, that's not. I'm not going to do that in this video, actually, in the live stream, because there's a lot that goes inside doing that. But what other option? What was I going to do? Another thing that I was going to do. So another thing they can do is actually visually seeing the object before you place it. But yeah, I think that option is also going to take a little bit of time. So I'll just leave that at there. That's the beginning of, I guess, placing an object on a grid. But then you also need to be able to visualize where the object is currently at. And two options that you can use is either the UI, just displaying the object on the UI, moving around, or I guess creating another prefab, and you can move it around or connect it to a mouse, one of the instance connected to the mouse. And actually, let me try this. So on mouse and drag, see that the logic right here that I used, actually need to use it again. So it'd be nice, at this point, it'd be nice to actually have a super unit that you create to simplify this reuse. Okay, so main camera, is there anything? Let's actually create a super unit. So add super unit, paste that in, and all I need is go here, in, hide it, we're running the set, and then we need the output. So out, hide the label, and one value, which is a vector 3. Vector 3, also can hide that, and the type is vector 3. Connected like that, and that should be our super unit for using all of this. So we can drop or remove all of that, clean it up a little bit, and use the super unit right here. And then duplicate it and use it for the second thing that we're doing. So here, what I want to do is actually move the current game object. So what I'll do is set position to the position of the mouse, the current position of the mouse. Let's go exit to full screen, go to the scene, and so what I'm going to do is actually add a sprite renderer. Okay, let's copy the component, go to the placement object, and we'll paste in that component here. Paste the component as new. So there is our component now. Let me disable the other component for now. And now that tree should be technically attached to our mouse. So wherever we move the mouse, that tree should follow. Okay, doesn't look like it's working. So what have I done? Okay, let's see if it's actually the mouse drag. Oh, okay, I have to click and drag it. So I have to click on the object itself and drag it. So instead, what I'm going to do is actually on mouse drag, I'm just going to do it on update. So just every frame, just update the position of that object. Okay, so now that object is following, but as soon as I clicked it, it's actually going to snap to the grid itself. You can use the same logic for rounding. So if you want to actually round that position to actually display the position that it will go to, which probably that's what you're looking for. So you can use that to round it. And for to have a different looks that it's not actually placed, we can actually add some transparency to the placement. So since it's a temporary, not a final, just have it semi-transparent. So now you can move around and it's actually displaying where it's going to go. So that's so I'll guess I'll just leave that at there. So that's how you would go about placing on the grid. The other thing that you still have to do is check to make sure that it doesn't overlay an existing object. So that has to do with, so you can either do, if the objects have collisions, you can do raycasts, or what's the other option? Not the raycast, but overlapping circle or overlapping square, since it's a grid. Overlapping square box. I'm not sure what they call it, square box in 2D. But yeah, since it's a grid, you can use those options to check if there's an object, a collidable object that exists there. If it does, you probably want to not allow placing a new item on that grid. So that's, yeah, okay. So that's a 2D placement of the grid. Now let's go back to our other project that we were doing. Thank you. Yep, I hope that actually helps out to have a understanding. I guess a point you in the right direction for creating that. Okay, so now inside of the level logic and its script, inside here I have this logic that checks if the target of the cubes it has matched. Then I try to display the win text. Instead, what I'm gonna do, okay, first let me remove that. I was gonna add the win text, but for now I'm just gonna display the menu. So in here, what I'm gonna do is level loader and load menu. So now after the game is the level is complete, we should get a no, I don't delete the live streams. The live streams are stayed up. So you can always come back and check if you missed anything or if you want to review something. Okay, so now the game is started. Okay, what are we having? Using unassign. Okay, I didn't assign a menu. Okay, so in my camera, I don't have a menu. Let's connect that menu and I guess win text. Not using it right now, but let's just connect it. So here is the level. Okay, we get the UI. So right now, if I load the next level, the level 1 doesn't get unloaded. So that's not good. So we need to keep track of the previous loaded level so we can remove it after we load the next one. And again, we can do that logic in the level loader. So I do have if current level, destroy current level. The logic for destroying the level is here. Interesting. Interesting. Why is it not actually storing the current level? I am saving it once I instantiate it to the current level, and then if the current level on the next load, if the current level does exist, it's supposed to destroy it. So the live stream has been going for an hour and 9 minutes, I guess. So probably do 20 minutes more and then I'll be ending it. Thanks again for everyone that is joining. If anyone has any idea why it's not actually destroying this game object that I have here, let me do a debug log and see if it's loaded. Because based on that, it should have actually kept the previous level, and then once I load the next level, it should have unloaded. Unless it is unloading it. Actually, yeah, it is unloading it. Never mind. It's just the first part is actually the same as the second part. The first part is the same in both. Okay. Okay, it is because the cube actually disappears and all of that. Now the other thing that I need to do is reset the position of the tractor to the start position. And I guess how I'm going to be designing the levels is get the tractor to be at this location right here, which is our player is at -20 position. So we need to add load menu. So let's put it inside here, and yeah, I'm just gonna connect the player here as well. Player. And inside here, I want to set position, transform dot position equals, and the position is a vector 3 dot right, I guess, multiplied by -20. Wrong game. -20. Connect the player to, wait, I didn't serialize that field. Player. Move it there. Okay, so here is our player now, and let's connect him in here. Haven't really done much in this live stream on this game, so wanted to do more progress than this, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Okay, this level is too big. Let's do level 1 first. Let's check out level 1, make sure that when we complete level 1, the tractor gets reset. So if we click level 2 now, there you go. Position changes. Okay, and let's solve level 2. should really get the tractor to move faster, at least for the testing purposes. Okay, so we need to reset the rotation as well. Rotation to... So what's the rotation? Rotation needs to go to 0, 0. So here, player dot rotation, transform dot rotation equals quaternion dot identity. So okay, there we go. So rotation and position gets reset. Perfect. So I think we can actually, yeah, let me actually design another level. So let me start from actually using level 2. And you can, I can show you how the design, well, let's go to full screen. Come on. Okay. There we go. So currently I have the grid set to, let's see, the option for the grid. Grid is set to be size of 10. And let's see if I move this. Okay, that's good. So I can duplicate these and create a bigger world. Okay, that was not supposed to happen. Duplicate. There we go. Now we got a square, and I think I've fixed the fence. Okay, that's, I'm not selecting the collider of the fence for some reason. Nope. Nope. For some reason, I'm not selecting that. Always have hard time selecting that collider, because I have yeah, I should have probably redo the fence, because I have a collider that is outside the walls. Should probably move it. Copy component and paste it in here. Let me actually fix the fence itself. Well, The main reason why I moved it is so that the main reason why I have the second object is so that the offset would be different, because I have it rotated and positioned a little bit, but I'm not sure why it's not selecting the component, the full. Okay. Okay, I guess I'll have to use it like this. Okay, so back to Y. Duplicate. I think that will be pretty good for level 3. Well, so actually let's add that to our game. Level 3. Add it right here. And then 4 button. For a third button, let's add level loader. Level load. And we're loading level 3. One more thing that I forgot to change is the target count. I added one more, so let's add 3. And actually, since I removed the end, where is it? When text, that can go away now. And we can remove this as well. On start, I want to target state change as Q. Target with Q. Okay, and move. Inside move, I have a step counter. I need to also reset the step count after I win the game, but I'm not gonna do it in this. I'm not gonna do it right now. Let's test out that level 3. If anyone watching has any cool ideas for a level for this game, you are more than welcome to send it on my Discord. Oops, a little bit too early. Okay. Yay! So it is possible to win it. Okay, so I think that actually I went to, okay, I think that's good. It's gonna be good for this live stream. Oh, everyone left already, but okay. Thanks for joining, and I'll see you next time.